everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California in a cold 10A. I'm going to show you today what didn't make it in the garden. It did make it last year, most of these, but not this year. The weather was just too cold and it got the best of my plants. So we're going to have to start over. But let me show you what I'm doing to maybe save a little bit, and hopefully I'll have some plants out of them, even though the garden it didn't do well in. So come with me and I'll show you. And it might give you ideas too, in case you're dealing with the same weather or the same issues I am, or for next year. So let's go. So this is where I had staked up all those tomatoes last spring. I think they had, some of them had been from the year before. And remember this one? Well, there are no more. The midnight snack were in here and I cleared them out this morning. They're dead. I know it wasn't a disease or anything. We know what it was. We have been freezing, wet and cold. And that's one thing that tomatoes don't like, is wet and cold. They can take the cold. They can take a little wet. But you start combining the two of them, no. Now this particular one made it. This is not a midnight snack. I'm not even sure which one this is. It could be a complete hybrid off here, you know, off our property. And if it is, that could be why it made it. Let's go in the other yard and I want to show you something over there. Now here are my brown berries. They were going beautiful. I thought they were going to make it through the winter. Look at all the tomatoes on it. Nope. Even though they're in a pot and they're raised up, so I thought their feet would be dry enough, you know, the roots, because see the pots down there? I'm hoping you can see that. It didn't matter. It was just, our ground is just like saturated. Everything is so wet. Nothing gets to dry out even a little, because as soon as it starts to dry, we get another downpour. So everything is just too wet. So this plant did not make it either. And it's sad because I thought it was going to make it, but nope. This one didn't make it, and I'm going to show you one more that didn't make it. And this is the other midnight snack. And it's kind of odd because they all died the same day. It was really sad, and that's the end of it. It was growing in here. There's the label, and that one died back, and I've been cutting it out, composting it. Very sad. Now, some of the tomatoes made it. The Sungolds made it. They made it quite fine through our cold, damp winter we had. They're still going strong. They're still throwing a lot of tomatoes. We've been eating them constantly, and it looks really healthy and happy. And that one too is in a pot, which the roots have left. This one made it. There is one up against my fence over there. Took over the whole fence, didn't make it. That one died back. It was just too much of freezing, I think, and in the 30s. It was just too much. Now there is a brown berry back here that looks like it's trying to survive. I'll clean that up later and see if that brown berry makes it. But that one is leaning on the block wall. That goes down another 4 or 5 feet. So it might be picking up heat off the block wall, and that could be why maybe that one is making it. Now let's go back over to the brown berry down here. What I'm going to do is collect a lot of cuttings. I should have done it off the midnight snack, and I didn't think about it. It kind of got past me too fast, and by the time I thought about it, it was just crispy brown. But being that this is still green, I mean, sure, I can start from scratch, but I'd like to see if I can save any of them. Maybe I could take some cuttings off of it, and maybe there'll be a few that will make it. So what I'm going to do is get some cuttings and see if we can get them to come back. If I can get some of them the root, then I can get brown berry. I could always keep some of the brown berry tomatoes, and I could just keep the seeds. The thing is, I have so many different varieties growing in my yard that the odds are it could end up being a hybrid, which could be okay too. But I'm going to see if we can save any of the brown berries, and then I can find the place for it. So what you're going to do is you're going to see me doing cuttings, and I'm collecting as much as I can of what looks green. If it has a little bit of green to it, then there's still hope. And we'll know if, if water or something can save it, by putting it in water or putting it in damp soil. But we'll see what happens, and like I said, I have nothing to lose. Right now, I'm losing it. It's going to be gone. This plant will be dried up and gone in a matter of a couple days, just like the midnight snack. It happened that quick. It started to die back. I thought I was going to get some cuttings, but I didn't get them in time. Oh, but wait for the end. I found something this morning, but I'll show you at the very end. So that's what I did. We'll do some cuttings, and then we'll take a look and see what happens with the cuttings after maybe, a few hours. And this one that did really, really well, and it made it through the winter, we've been getting tomatoes, is this one. So this one didn't mind the wet and the cold. And we'll see what happens with this, and maybe I'll get some cuttings off of this one too, because this is a good plant. Knowing how well this plant did, it's been throwing tomatoes all winter. Look at the flowers, the tomatoes. There has been more tomatoes on it. We have been removing them off and using them. Let's see down here. I saw one. Oh yeah, see, there's one down there, and there's one there. So this particular one did really, really well. So that's a good one to remember, because I don't know what's going to happen next winter. If we're going to have a normal winter where we have wet and cold and then it warms up, and wet and cold and then it warms up, or if we have another winter that just goes all freezing cold all winter, because that means I'll lose the tomatoes again. But we'll see what happens, and we'll go ahead and get some more cuttings off the other one and see if we can save any of them, and then I'll show you the surprise at the end. So anywhere that's green, we're going to see if we can save it. Technically, these are the shoots that you want to root, but they're so small, I don't know if they'd make it. Now you want to get off any and all flowers, because regardless, they're not going to throw tomatoes. So I want to trim all those off, because I want it to put all its energy into trying to develop roots. And even if a few of them make it, I mean, these really look bad, but we'll see. It doesn't need the leaves. We'll leave the side shoots. We'll do that one. This one, of course, is too far gone, but I'm looking at these that have a little bit of green to them. So maybe I can get a couple of them to make it, and then I can start my brown berries again. And if not, I just buy more. But, like I said, I have nothing to lose. Might cut that one down there. And I might just leave that one just like that. And let's see up here if there's any more. This looks like it's really too far gone. Well, let's take this. It still has a little bit of green to it. Again, take off all the brown leaves. Anything that looks 100% that it will not make it. Taking off the leaves, leaving some of the side shoots. That's a perfect side shoot. That's actually what you normally root. You root the ones that come out from the side. That's no good. Let's see if there's anything else worth trying to save. There's one back here. But the plant is gone from the base. It's gone. That's why the plant is dying back. Just could not make it. Will the roots come back, or the base? I'm going to say not. I'm going to go ahead and take the whole thing off. Again, I'm taking the flowers off. And if it starts to develop flowers, if it makes it, I will take it off. See, this is a leaf that would never root. So I'm just taking it off. But the side shoot, this is a side shoot. This would root if it was healthy. I'm going to take off that too. Okay, we'll clean that up. And we'll collect a whole bunch in hopes that we get something. Pretty sad on all this, but boy did it go. Once it froze or whatever happened to it, it was gone. It was 100% gone. There was no coming back. There are certain species, or varieties I should say, of tomatoes that do well in cold weather. You can actually buy them at the nurseries. These were not those, but normally our tomatoes don't die back. But Like I said, we were freezing and constantly wet. It caused a lot of tomatoes in here to split as well. They were just splitting from all the rain, the cold. So, all right, well, we'll go with these and see what happens. Now I'm just going to stick some of them in a pot. Just stick a whole bunch in there, because if any of them root, they're very easy to move. And then some of them I'm going to put in water. I'll leave these in here. You look really sad, but we'll leave these in here and come back and take a look at them. And these, we're going to do a real soaking on them. You'll see if any of these do anything. We'll come back a little later. Using some rainwater. Right now they're down and they don't look good. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to cover them just so nothing bothers them. In this one, we're just going to fill this up with water, and we'll see if any of them make it back. Just let that be, and then of course we'll come back and see what happens with the other one later on. So it's been a few hours now, and you know what? I can see that the stems, and look, I didn't even get all the flowers off. The stems have already thickened up in just a few hours, and it's starting to look a little perky here. Look at that. So there is a chance that on the bottom here, they will start to develop roots. I only need a couple. I don't need a ton of these, just a couple. So hopefully some of them will make it. So there is a chance these will start roots. And let's see what the other ones look like that I stuck in some wet soil. You know what? Same thing here. They're springing back. Should get a few more of these leaves off. They don't need these bottom leaves. I'll cut it with the cutters afterwards. And I'm gonna leave this sitting in this pot, and maybe some of these will root and then I can move them. But all in all, I may have saved a couple of these. That's why a few people have asked me about tomato plants, if they made it, will make it in the snow in the winter. Well, they won't. But here's the thing. You can do cuttings when your cold weather comes in, and then keep the ones you really like, put them in some soil with the cuttings, keep them in a window and kind of baby them a little bit all winter. And then when spring comes, you'll have a whole new plant off the mother plant that you had in your yard. So these are making a comeback, and I will probably end up putting these in soil too. And these have sprung back. Look at that, the leaves are up. Before they were drooping, look at this. So I caught these in time. With the midnight snack, it was too late. By the time I went out there, they were just dead. So as long as they have a little bit of green to them, get them in water or really wet soil, and then you've got a chance of making some clones off your favorite tomato plants. So this is the ending I promised you all. You know how I keep a flower pot sitting on my kitchen window and I throw seeds in there, and as you can see, I've got stevia growing, I've got tomatoes growing in there, orange trees, peppers, I have everything growing in there. I just drop seeds in there while I'm cooking and cutting things open. Well, let's go out on the deck for a minute, because I had another container that was in there and I squeezed some seeds in there. So looky, I realize I may have purple midnight snacks after all. I keep, as you know, a container a lot of times on my kitchen window, and when I'm eating a tomato, I'll squeeze the seeds in, and look at this, purple. In fact, let me pull this one out and show you. Look at this, look how purple. See if you can see how purple that is. And I'll have to get that one planted back better. From what I can remember, the only tomato plant growing in my garden that had purple stems was the midnight snack. So I may have some midnight snack tomato plants after all, from the seeds that I got off the plants growing in my yard. Now, though these will not be clones, these will be seedlings off my plants. It may work. We'll see if they throw purple ones, or maybe they hybridized with some of the others and they won't be so purple. I have nothing to lose. We'll get these potted up as the weather warms up. Get a couple of them growing, and that's it. And that's how easy it is to clone tomato plants. You just do a cutting from the side shoot, and you can start it in water if you want, or you can put it directly in soil that you keep damp. Keep in mind, tomato plants would normally, grown in their normal state, would be a vine. They would just go on the ground, and as they're growing and the plant would be laying down, it would be growing roots all along. So it would just be spreading out all over your garden and growing roots. But we don't, as gardeners, we don't tend to grow them that way. We tend to stake them up. So they don't do that. But they have the capability of growing a lot of roots and a lot of plants. But that's what would happen. See, this is a side shoot. Let me see if you can see this. Okay, see this? No, that's a leaf. Okay, that's a side shoot coming in, the little tiny one. You would want a larger one than that. You cannot root the leaves. You could root the whole tip of this plant. But what you're looking for when you're actually rooting a new plant are these side shoots. You would have a leaf. Here's the side shoot. This would get bigger, and then you could clip it off and create a whole new plant. Because this would lay, and see, this has the capability of growing roots all along the stalk. See, they're little hairy little stems too. That's to protect them from insects and things. Look at that. Even the leaves have hair on them. The whole plant has hair. So they have a great protection. And if they were laying on the ground, I guess that's what would protect them. But here's a side shoot. Nope, that is a side shoot. And that's what you would cut off and grow a whole new plant. This would develop into a new plant. So that's what I'm hoping with the other ones. We'll see if we get a couple of the brown berries going, and maybe I do have, after all, some midnight snacks, because boy, are those purple. And I am pretty sure that's what they are. They have a little bit of walking onions in there. A lot of times I keep a cup on my windowsill, and if I'm eating peppers or something, I drop some seeds in there, and this is an apple tree. And if they grow, they grow. And I took it off the windowsill, and I stuck it in there, just stuck it in there. And then I noticed the other day, I think I've got midnight snacks. So with that, have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.